No, you're not.
Brian Mitchell is the best junior lightweight in the world.
No, you're not.
Fans were not disappointed by the long-awaited title unification clash between Tony the Tiger Lopez and Brian Mitchell. The classic battle of wills went down to the wire. 12 brawling rounds boosted their reputations as both champions seemed to emerge victorious.
Mitchell coming forward now. Mitchell knows he's got to put a bit of pressure on here. Tony Lopez coming forward. Good combination.
Some good punches going in from Lopez and also some good punches going in from Brian Mitchell. Snake is you can be influenced by that one punch, but some good boxing by Brian Mitchell. And now Lopez returns it.
And those 4 punches really shook Tony Lopez. The crowd here going wild.
This is an incredible fight. It really is a crackerjack affair. He's got a little nick now at the right eye that's come on. He's got a little nick there that could be a little problematic under the right eye. So a nasty one at this moment. And Lopez has seen the blood. It's been a great
Well, second, Barry. Mitchell there wrestling in the middle of the ring. It's all action. Like 2 little Hulk Hogans right in the middle of the ring here. We won't hear
bring it to an end. What a fight. What a championship fight this has been.
We have a draw.
I thought I won the fight by about a point or two. He didn't dominate the fight, and I didn't dominate the fight. That's why I accepted the draw.
There's just no way that the fight is a draw in my eyes. It ended up being a good result for both of us because it made a super rematch.
Lopez was plagued by weight reduction problems and fatigue in the first showdown. That frustrating decision jolted the Tiger camp, bringing in new trainers and a priority to conditioning.
His stamina will be twice as great as it was last time. He can focus better now. That's one thing. His movability is a whole lot better than it was the last time he fought Brian Mitchell.
He's stronger, he's faster, and he's more durable. And Brian Mitchell will definitely see a brand new fellow, and I'm afraid for Brian Mitchell for this fight.
Stamina is never a problem for Mitchell. The long-distance battler has gone 10 or more rounds 19 times. His team is unconcerned by any Lopez improvements.
I don't care how much gas he could put in him, he ain't going to beat Brian. He can never have the gas that Brian has. Brian's is natural.
I go into every fight with confidence, knowing that I haven't been knocked out. And especially in the Lopez fight, he couldn't knock me out last time. And he didn't hurt me last time.
The stinging tie decision from their fight has re-energized the bitter IBF champ, unleashing Tiger at the peak of his prowess.
Tony was not himself. Tony was not fit as he should have been. You're looking at a man that is going to totally devastate anyone that steps in the ring with him. And this is going to be again proven when he fights Brian Mitchell.
The draw was as devastating to the former WBA title holder, but tonight that same performance fills Mitchell with confidence.
I always learn from the first fight. I'm intelligent enough fighter to know how to work an opponent out the second time round.
Contrasting styles make great fights. Lopez quickly pounces inside and pours on pressure to break his challenger's will. He is a strong counterpuncher with muscle. 25 of his 37 wins have ended by knockout. Mitchell starts outside and is a methodical technician who takes advantage of his endurance to wear down his opponents. He's unbeaten since 1982. Though the Sacramento champ has overcome great obstacles to prove himself a world-class fighter, the 28-year-old is more fired up for this rematch than any previous bout. A misunderstanding after the first bout spilled over the Lopez family line.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
You don't ever say nothing to my mom in front of me like that. That's just very disrespectful from where I come from. Now, it's more than business, this is personal. And that can get dangerous when it gets real personal because I take things real personal. I don't let it go too easily.
I apologize to him, but it's fine if he wants to psych himself up by using that to be more motivated. It's no problem with me. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing personal. It's 110% business.
A shot at the IBF crown gives the South African the greatest motivation to win since turning pro. Right now, it's the only group that will consider sanctioning title fights there. Boxing's ultimate road warrior could finally go home, a champion with a country. Tonight, they go toe-to-toe a second time and may determine the best 130-pounder in the sport.
If this fight goes 12 rounds, it's going to be the most painful 12 rounds Brian Mitchell has ever gone through. I'm out there to hurt this man, and that's what I'm going to do.
I've never defended a world title in my own country, and it's made me an experienced, tough campaigner that can go out there and win in my opponent's backyard. I can tame the tiger and the tiger's den.
It's time for our main event of the evening. Tony the Tiger Lopez defending his title against Brian Mitchell at stake. The IBF Junior Lightweight Championship of the World. And to call the action, Lynn Berman at ringside. Lynn?
Thank you, Cambrell. The key issue here is the weight of Tony Lopez. He tried 3 times to weigh in, never made weight yesterday, missed by half a pound. The Mitchell camp let him slide, and this will go on as a sanctioned championship fight. But what effect will that not making weight have on Tony Lopez?
Well, he says it won't have any effect on him, and it may not, because he got to weigh in the day before the fight, and he did come in only a half a pound over. What it was a miscalculation on these scales. They weighed in on one to test it, and then weighed on the official scale, and it didn't jive with the one they weighed in earlier. It was just a miscalculation, not bad training.
All right, these two had a draw last time, 2 tough, even fighters. On what do you think this fight will turn tonight?
Well, I think if anything, you're going to probably see a better Tony Lopez tonight than you did the first one. He swears that he wasn't in top shape. He was 50% physically, 50% mentally, and he swears that he's going to be in better shape. And I believe him. He's got a whole different crew: Stan Ward, Art Turner, and Chase Jordan. He just might take this one a little bit better than he did the first one.
All right, our Goosen's Corner for our main event. Let's start with the challenger, Brian Mitchell.
Right. Brian Mitchell, he has to do a few things tonight that he did in the last one, but a little bit more of, and that's use the jab early. He used it last time and effectively, but too late in the fight. Uses lateral movement. He's a great boxer, and counter punch off the misses. He made Lopez miss with that right hand and countered him all night last time. He's got to do it again.
And here is Brian Mitchell. You're watching around North America on TVKO, but they are also watching right now in South Africa. Brian says it's the biggest sports event in South African history. He says 10 million people are watching right now at 6 in the morning in the country of South Africa. They know him here in Sacramento. That's where they fought the draw last March the 15th. Mitchell feels he won that fight, but it was a draw based on a hometown decision. 42-1-3 with 20 knockouts. The one loss to Jacob Meraki, he avenged 4 times, and Meraki eventually died of injuries from that 4th loss to Brian Mitchell. And now let's check out Goosen's Corner for Tony Lopez.
All right, Tony Lopez, Tony the Tiger Lopez out of Sacramento here, and he's really a rejuvenated fighter and really likes all the new attention he's getting. But tonight what he's got to do is do what he didn't do in the first fight and not neglect the jab. He's got to use it from the start till finish. Don't reach on Brian Mitchell, because that's where he was getting countered most of the time, reaching with the right hand. And then he's got to out-hustle Brian Mitchell. Mitchell really came on strong in the later rounds, and Lopez faded a little bit, and probably that's where the draw came into play for him.
And Tony Lopez and Arco Arena explodes. The 2 losses have both been avenged, and he hopes to avenge that 3rd blemish on his record here tonight. The losses to Ramon Rico and John Molina. And our tail of the tape, Mitchell's 3 years older. Height is similar, so is the weight. Lopez really was 130.5 yesterday, and Lopez with the 4-inch reach advantage over Mitchell.
Right here, they're basically even par. This is their last fight on March 15th of this year, and they're equal in almost all categories. But Lopez swears that he was only 50%, that he really doubled these numbers tonight.
And our rules for this IBF championship fight: 12-round event, 10-point must system, no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule, cannot be saved by the bell in any round. That differs from our earlier fights. And the doctor or the referee can stop the fight. That's the California state law. Now for the introductions. Let's go to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, Don Shargan Productions and Main Events, in association with Sednick Kushner Productions, present the featured bout of the evening. This bout is approved by the California State Athletic Commission Chairman Ara Harabedian, Commission staff members at ringside, Steve English and Rob Lynch, inspectors in attendance, Stan Gordon, Sal Barajas, Mike Guzman, and Richard Novoa. Physicians at ringside, Dr. John Edwards and Dr. John Woodbury, and the timekeeper is Clay Worthley. This contest is sanctioned by the International Boxing Federation, President Robert W. Lee. Supervisor in attendance at ringside is Jim Rondeau. The judges assigned by the state of California and the IBF are Fritz Warner, Mike Liena, and Harry Davis. And when the bell rings, the man in charge of all the action inside the ring is referee Pat Russell. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the famous Arco Arena here in Sacramento, California, let's get ready to rumble! 12 rounds of boxing for the International Boxing Federation Junior Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the blue trunks with white trim and weighing an even 129 pounds. His professional record an outstanding one. 42 victories with 20 KOs. Only 1 defeat, 3 draws. He's from Johannesburg, South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, the challenger and former junior lightweight champion of the world, Brian Mitchell. And across the ring in the red corner, wearing the tiger stripe trunks and weighing an even 130 pounds. As a professional, 37 victories with 2 defeats and 1 draw. 25 of his 37 victories by KO. Ladies and gentlemen, the pride of Sacramento, California, the IBF Junior Lightweight Champion of the World, Tony the Tiger Lopez. Tony.
Okay, gentlemen, we had our instructions from the locker room. Do you have any questions of me at all?
No questions, 12 rounds, touch gloves. Let's go.
Well, we saw Tony Lopez in Lake Tahoe defeating Lupe Gutierrez with a 6th round knockout in July. Remember, he received that accidental butt and a gash next to his left eye. We'll see if that has any effect. You almost see it there, the left corner of his eye, where you see that gash. Here we go, scheduled for 12 for the championship. Remember the last fight? Lopez started strong, and Mitchell came on.
Mitchell says he doesn't want to give away those early rounds like he did last time. He believes that's what cost him the fight.
No connecting being done here in the opening minute of the first round. Fighters measuring one another.
Let's get up. Touch his head.
Lopez telling me earlier in the day that he felt that Brian Mitchell was, he said you can't miss him with the right hand, but he's the one who just got caught with one.
Mitchell connected with the first right.
You know, to me, when I watched that last fight, it looked to me that Brian Mitchell had an uncanny ability to slip a right hand, to slide inside and come back with that right uppercut. That's a good, one of his best counterpunching techniques, is that slip under that right hand. Here he is getting low.
He's a crafty fighter.
That's why he had 12 successful title defenses at 130 pounds before he gave that title up.
He gave the record up. Didn't take on the mandatory challenge. That was a record for the amount of time. 5 years he held that belt.
Right.
really eyeing each other here in the first round. Lopez connects with a jab.
Keep him up, Brian. Keep him up.
Both fighters are looking real good condition. They look real sharp. Their reflexes look quick. And, you know, Brian Mitchell said he's never sparred as many rounds as he had for a fight in his life. 235 rounds he sparred for this.
Takes a lot on his part to come into the hometown again of Tony Lopez, but he realized this is what he had to do.
All right, let him go. Break, straight out. Let's go. Take a step back on a break, bro.
Double up! Double up! There you go! There you go!
Uneventful first round comes to a close.
Uneventful, but I think Brian Mitchell probably landed the sharper punches in that round. A few good right hands and a few crisp jabs and a few body shots.
Pretty good left jab.
That's the way to start out like he's doing, box the guy for a little while.
Great job. He's a good left jab and work all the way around. Put him together fast. Don't try to kill him with the one shot.
You have to tip that, you know.
He's doing a good job out there.
The movement with that jab is doing great. Okay? The movement with the jab is doing great. Then you can catch him with the right hand like
he has lost off again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let it right.
The rocking chair.
How'd it go?
Huh?
How'd the round go?
Good round. Good round.
Stan Ward, the ex-California champ, in the corner of Tony the Tiger Lopez.
I like
Harold Volbrecht.
Tony asking for a critique. How'd my first round go?
Harold Volbrecht, the ex-welterweight champion of the world, who was knocked out by Mark Green, as a matter of fact, when he won the vacant title. And Murphy Griffin, Boom Boom Mancini's ex-trainer, in the corner with Brian Mitchell.
We're in the second round, a 12-round championship fight for Tony Lopez's IBF junior lightweight belt. The crowd, of course, will react to anything that resembles some damage by Tony Lopez. And Lopez there with the combination.
Tony Lopez is very good at, when he misses that right hand, he automatically sticks that left jab out to stop any counterattack coming back, and that's exactly what he did right there. Another good right hand by Brian Mitchell.
That's exactly what Lopez did in the second round of their last fight. He got hit by a right and then mugged right in Mitchell's face.
In the meantime, Brian Mitchell's piling up a few points here, and I got him winning that first round, and he's still taking the second round. He's got good lateral movement here. He's boxing Tony Lopez, making him miss some punches, using his jab well.
There it is again, Mitchell jab. You see Mitchell effectively ducking the punches from Tony Lopez.
Well, that's what got him to the top and kept him there for those 12 title defenses. He's a very, very tricky, cagey fighter. And that's what Tony Lopez got to do. Get inside and hit that body a little bit, slow this movement down.
I'm not sure the Sacramento fans realize what a tough fight Tony's in for tonight.
Well, I think both fighters are in for a tough fight because they're both in tremendous condition. And they fought to a draw. They're evenly matched. Oh, good left hook, and that stunned Tony Lopez. Hit him right on the temple.
And Mitchell again.
Back off, back off.
Brian Mitchell's doing exactly what he said he wanted to do, and that's use that jab effectively in the early part of this fight, or actually all the way through the fight, but not wait to start too late with it. That's it. Oh, and another good left hook.
Good left, but then Lopez countered with a left of his own. Mitchell's landed a couple of good punches here in the second round.
Sharp as attack right now, it really is.
Is that true with the Lopez camp claim that he was swimming in the Mitchell was in the motel pool at 3 in the morning?
Well, he might have been. Whether or not he was trying to lose weight or he wanted to get some exercise or that's the way to relax if he couldn't sleep. But that seems to be the truth, that he was there late at night, the night before the fight. But then again, the first day I got into town Wednesday, I saw Brian Mitchell swimming. He just may be an avid swimmer.
And a heck of a boxer.
Actually, it's good. It's good loosening and keeps you relaxed. It keeps your muscles nice and loose. But at 3:30 in the morning, I don't know.
You got him, Brown. You got him on the way. Anyways. Very good. Another round for you in the pocket. That was your round.
What am I doing right or wrong?
You're doing all right. You're doing perfect. You're doing all right. Everything you do is perfect. Everything you're doing is perfect. Just keep on. Train your jab and move. Okay.
Round 3, Tony.
All right. A little Vaseline around his forehead and his nose and his cheeks. This will be dead.
Hang with him, man.
On my face.
Third round now. Brian Mitchell started off stronger in this fight than he did in the draw.
That's a definite sign of frustration what Tony the Tiger Lopez just did there, grabbing Brian Mitchell, throwing him up against the ropes. Because Mitchell is being very effective with his movement right now, and his corner's telling him to keep it up.
Good right hand for Mitchell. Referee Pat Russell is the referee this evening, his first championship fight.
District attorney from San Diego, Pat Russell. Fine referee.
All right, go punch, go punch.
Both of them crouching and synchronized boxing. Lopez missing wildly with a minute gone in the third round.
That's what he's got to do. That's exactly what he's got to do to get back in this fight, because right now Brian Mitchell really is boxing beautifully, and Lopez has got to do something to shake him up, slow him down.
Scoring on the inside. Lopez with a left.
And it looks like somebody's cut above the eye, and it might be Brian Mitchell. It certainly looks red and puffy above his right eye right now. I got to believe he is cut.
Yeah, there's some blood above Brian Mitchell's eye.
And took a good right hand that wobbled him a little bit from Tony Lopez.
And Lopez coming on strong here in the third round.
Brian Mitchell's definitely cut in the right eyelid. The blood dripping off to the side of his face, which is better than dripping into the eye.
Tony going after Mitchell again. Mitchell with a good little short right-left, not a lot of power.
But so far this round belongs to Tony Lopez. He's applying some good pressure and landing some good power shots. That eye is terribly swollen right now. Brian Mitchell.
Swollen under the eye and bleeding around the corner of it. It's just the third round. That could turn out to be a big factor.
Well, he's been cut in a lot of his fights early on in his fights, and there's Tony Lopez scoring well, but he's got Ace Murata in his corner. Brian Mitchell has one of the best in the business in his corner there, and he's controlled a lot of his cuts before, and I'm sure he'll be able to sustain this, hold the blood back on this one.
Lopez with a strong third round.
On that left side, but after they fix that cut up and put the adrenaline chloride, which stops the bleeding on that right eye, they should apply that ice to it.
All right, John Saraceno, our guest judge from USA Today. John, what do you have for us?
Well, Len, Lopez finally putting some bite into his attack in that third round, narrowed the gap after I gave Mitchell the first 2 rounds, clearly outboxing.
That's pretty much how we called it, Joe.
When he jabs, he drops his right hand. Take a deep breath. Nice. Gun was off the other guy.
Okay.
Saw the doctor say it's
Left
okay.
hook, right hand.
Just keep on moving and pop your jab, make him miss. Right, but you gotta allow, when you make him miss, Brian, you gotta work on that over right hand. Okay, swing it over right hand a bit. Okay, go out with the jab now, come over the over right hand.
Here's the replay here. Zai already looks bleeding right there, but
already happened.
Right, exactly. This was Tony Lopez throwing a few jabs after that missed right hand.
Colorful description of how Mitchell should use his jab.
Right,
from his corner.
Harold Volbrick wants him to come over the left jab of Tony Lopez with his overhand right after a few jabs.
Get out of the ring. Get out of the ring.
There's the referee talking to the camera, one of the still photographers.
Tony Lopez closed the gap punch-wise here. They're 35% for Mitchell, 32% landed for Tony Lopez. For 3 rounds.
Now Mitchell on his bicycle moving away. This fight a little bit different from the first one. This one Mitchell got off to the quick start. And now Lopez picking it up. Lopez again. The right and the left.
Oh, let his head out. Watch your head.
Lopez to the body.
That left hand straight a little low, but that's what Lopez has got to do. Start slipping and sliding and hitting that belly. Try to slow Mitchell down. Try to bring those hands down, then go to work with that left hook on that cut. Hopefully, you know, they'll stop the fight on that cut if it gets bad enough. And he has reopened that cut. Right now, Tony Lopez is really putting on some tough, hard pressure on Brian Mitchell and making it hard for him to outbox him.
Yeah, this is a very different Mitchell in the 3rd and 4th rounds than we saw in the first 2.
Sometimes it takes a fighter, especially like Tony Lopez, to get on track. It takes a few minutes, a few rounds.
Good overhand right.
Oh, just caught him with a good, fake the right hand, caught him with a good left uppercut.
The eye is bleeding again. The best Mitchell can offer is a jab in return. And Lopez again scored with the left. Final minute now of the 4th round in Sacramento.
Tony Lopez just looks a lot stronger than he did in that first fight. And a lot quicker for some reason. His punches are definitely getting there a lot more effectively than they did the first time around.
Well, if not making weight took its toll, hasn't been evident here in the first 4 rounds. We don't know about later on.
I don't think it was due to Tony Lopez really not doing things right in training. I think it was just a miscalculation and a half a pound the day before a fight.
He called it a Caesar salad he ate.
Right, exactly. It's no big deal.
Lopez with another good round as the seconds wind down here in the 4th. A look at Tony Lopez's mom, family here in force. She became a focus of the news conference, right?
Breathing is most important.
Well, she was at...
How far? When you're working this time, same good jab. Use your 102. Bang, bang, bang. He's looking for the jab. He's looking for the jab. He's not looking for the right hand lead.
Now and then you come over the top with that right hand, come right back with the left hand, okay? Don't just hang yourself.
Okay, look at your speed now, okay? Don't stand and be a wide feet and slap it out with it, okay?
Both corners asking for the same thing, right hands.
And Lopez's corner trying to keep swelling down in that area of where he took the gas from the headbutt in the Gutierrez fight that we did last July. 5th round now.
Wipe this corner down.
102 right there.
Oh, nice left hook from Brian Mitchell there. Snuck that in right off the bat without a jab. Well, he's doing what Murphy Griffith asked him to do, and that's throw the lead right hand, left hook to the body. And Brian Mitchell's done it successfully a couple times this round, but that cut's opened up again over his right eye.
He was cut in the 2nd round, right on the corner of his right eye, and it's starting to get a bit bloodied again here in the 5th.
The thing is, it's not really bleeding heavily, so it's not impairing his vision, and that's the thing that you worry about with the cut. Not so much the cut itself, but the blood that drips into your eye.
Right, and it is on the outside, so perhaps he'll luck out there as he connects with the jab.
There's a turn of events here. Brian Mitchell starting to press Tony Lopez.
Put it together. Put it together. Quick hands. Quick hands. Come back with it. Come back with the left hand. Left hand. Finish with the left hand.
Let's handle, Tony. There you go.
Come back with the hook.
Lopez trying the uppercut, works the body, then the left. Tony pulling out all the punches here in the 5th.
This is a hectic pace, and they've still got 8 more rounds to go.
All right, I got it. Stop.
Minutes to go in the 5th, and it's scheduled for 12, the IBF Junior Lightweight Championship.
I got it. Wait. One step.
To tell you the truth, the pressure that Brian Mitchell is putting on is actually serving him a lot better than it did when he was backing up and getting pressured by Tony Lopez. And Lopez ran into a short right hand there. Maybe he should keep this plan of attack up. It's working for him.
Well, Mitchell is bleeding again. Mitchell jabbing away at Lopez. And again, he tries the uppercut. Well, Mitchell applying the pressure here in the 5th round.
Well, after the fight shifting in Lopez's favor the last 2 rounds, it's shifting back to Mitchell again this round.
Back and forth we go through the first 5 rounds of a fairly even fight.
Come on, there's it. Wait, one step. Come on, Tony.
Well, that cut is starting to open up a little bit more. It's starting to look a little bit more red and angry. What a pace.
Good. Fine. Good.
Put your eyes back.
All right. Now give me an eye in here.
Give me an eye.
I got you.
That's a good work, Brian. Perfect. He's running out of steam now. He's either taking a breather or he's running out of steam. Keep on working that body. Keep on jab, and then you work to the body.
Moving to him. Jabbing. Bounce it. You're going to jab it and you're going to tie him up. You're going to jab and tie him up and walk. Take a break. The last 20 seconds of the round. This is your wrist. You've been working hard. When he gets in close, boom, drink a little bit.
Are they still fighting in the locker room? Breland and
I think they are, yeah.
the stats have gone up on them.
You heard Harold Bolbrecht telling Brian Mitchell that Lopez is either tiring or
he's taking a break.
breather.
But what they're also doing now, because they saw what we saw, he's doing fairly well moving forward and actually winning the round, so they're encouraging him to move forward, press him now. Where a couple rounds earlier, Volbrecht said box him and stay on the outside.
Well, this is the round that did in Mark Breland and Ernie Chavez. What will happen here?
I know what's going to happen in a few minutes. Pat Russell's going to stop this fight to fix that tape on the left glove. of Brian Mitchell.
Both the ways, Tony, both the ways.
It's loose. Mitchell connecting with a left hook. Oh, strong right hand from Brian Mitchell. The punch of the night. Mitchell a bit low with the left. Lopez trying to come back. He was stunned by that right. Good left hand from Lopez.
Well, Lopez is, to me, he's waiting too long and he's backing up too much. He was doing his best when he was coming forward, pressing the attack, going to the body, and he's given that plan up completely. And he's paying the price for it, but landed a good left hook there.
Basically a one-handed puncher right now, using that left repeatedly. Tony Lopez is, and another left, not using the right hand at all. Missed with the right.
Reaching for that right hand, but give Brian Mitchell a lot of credit. He is a slick fighter, and he sees these punches coming. He's got great radar, moves his head well in time.
Left-right from Mitchell. The momentum of this fight is in 2 rounds apiece. The first 2 to Mitchell, next 2 to Lopez, now back to Mitchell.
Exactly.
Tony connected with the left hand, and that blood is on the right eye again, and Lopez coming on here in the final 30 seconds of the 6th round.
But see, Mitchell getting off first on the inside. He's
another combination from Mitchell.
Right, he's the one out hustling Tony Lopez right now.
Mitchell with his best round of the fight, I think, here in the 6th.
Yeah, he seems real confident in his attack right now, and he's got a real purposeful look on his face as he comes towards Tony Lopez.
John Saraceno, what do you have for us through 6 rounds?
Glenn, I've got Brian Mitchell ahead by 2 points. He's suddenly taken command the last 2 rounds. He is basically fighting his fight, dictating the pace and flow. And for some strange reason, Tony Lopez has begun retreating. I don't quite understand that.
Well, here goes Lopez against the right. I think this is that first right hand he gets lit up with and rose right on the chin, and his mouthpiece almost popped out of his mouth there. Here it is, different angle, right on the chin. Turned his head completely around. You could see the mouthpiece move around in there.
That was the punch of the fight thus far.
And that's the type of punch that can break your jaw if your mouth is open and the jaw shifts too much like that. Bingo.
Now I'm wondering if the 2 round segments will now shift back towards Lopez as we go into the 7th round.
Well, they're not going to shift towards Lopez if he keeps backing up like this, as far as I'm concerned.
The crowd effectively quieted now by the performance of Brian Mitchell in the last 2 rounds. Now they're trying to urge their fighter on.
Well, Mitchell, what he just did right there, Lopez threw a right hand, fell short, and Mitchell countered with 2 little jabs right off the back, caught him reaching, caught him leaning, and that's what he does best.
Mitchell connecting with the uppercut.
There's one of the few.
Lopez comes back.
One of the few right hands Tony Lopez has thrown in this round. He's been all left hand.
And Lopez connecting another right. You know, the last couple of rounds, Lopez has pretty much just used the left hand.
Yeah, you know, you got to speculate at this point. Does he have a hurt hand? Is he holding it back? Makes you wonder, because that's one of his best punches, is that straight right hand. There you see it.
He missed with both hands there.
But some good body shots by Brian Mitchell there.
Mitchell landing again.
But what happens sometimes is you get a little cautious about throwing it because you get countered so many times. You don't want to throw it. That may be the case.
Final minute of the 7th round. Crowd responding to a Lopez straight left hand.
Well, he's starting to throw that right hand more the last half of this round here.
And Lopez now perhaps answering the call of the crowd, going after Mitchell.
Now he's backing Mitchell up, and this is what he's got to do to really score points. Every time he backs up, he waits, and it seems that Mitchell gets off first, like that.
Mitchell with the right hand, right cross. But the fight form is holding as the momentum shifts back a little bit to Lopez here in the 7th.
This last half of the round certainly has.
Lopez trying to show a flurry. The crowd likes it. I don't know how much damage it does, but that's it for the 7th.
Deep breath, won the round.
Won the round. Give me the iron again.
Deep breath.
Give me the iron.
Take a couple deep breaths. Come on.
Cut the gum now.
I got it. You need more water?
Won the round going away. What you need to do, keep putting, when you put them together with the right hand, take some time to do that. A jab that hard gas for you. Step it right there. You don't care. Step right there. One time. Okay? And come back with right hand. Right hand, left hook. You good? About to
That's all right. It's okay. I'll do it next round.
We've had 1,000 punches thrown in the fight and still have 5 rounds to go, perhaps.
It's been a tremendous pace, and it looks like Brian Mitchell's going to come out and still press the attack here. And Lopez content to box, but the stats bear out that it's basically an even fight, punch for punch. Stan Ward guaranteeing Tony Lopez when he came back to the corner that he definitely won that round there, and he might have been right.
And Mitchell working the jab effectively. Get the feeling this one's going all the way again for a decision.
Stan Ward in the corner, excuse me, Len, yelling out that he wants that right hand left hook from Tony Lopez because he sees that left hand of Mitchell's down low. But he's not really obliging him.
I was saying, do you get the feeling this is going the distance again?
It certainly looks it, as long as Tony Lopez or Brian Mitchell doesn't take too many shots like Tony Lopez did on the ropes there. You know, you get hit with a couple or 3 of those in a row and it could be lights out because they are punching hard tonight. But it looks like a distance fight.
We're halfway through the 8th round. It's a 12-round championship fight. Now Mitchell's punches look as if they lack power at this point. He's got Lopez with his hands down up against the ropes, just feinting him. Lopez trying to get Mitchell to punch himself out. And Lopez comes back at him. So form has held right through. 2 rounds apiece, back and forth we go here in the 8th.
Throwing a nice little flurry in there that time. But Lopez answering back with some very good body shots. Mitchell getting off first there and landing a straight right hand and a couple left hooks, and another one lit Tony Lopez up right there. A good left hook.
Tony has a bit of a cut on his right cheek, and the cut over Mitchell's eye is just not a factor here in the 8th. Done a good job in his corner.
Ace Murata in his corner, one of the best in the business, and another good right hand by Brian Mitchell. And there again.
And again, the combination from Mitchell to Lopez.
Wow.
Mitchell coming on strong in the latter stages of that round.
Give me the iron again. Got it. Keep it slowing down. Got to turn him loose, so we got 4 rounds.
Right close. Close to last round. Keep your legs under. This time you want to go to him, hands up. Right him up. Go to him. Work him.
Here's a replay of Mitchell, I believe, scoring well here. Here's that overhand right on the top. That started it right there. Mitchell pressing the attack. 1, 2, 3. Then the 3 quick straight punches. And that's what he's good at. He puts short punches together and gets them off quickly and really catches Lopez off guard. If there's anything that really has been Lopez's problem tonight, that's been it.
Well, they've certainly, Mitchell's thrown 100 more punches through 8 rounds than he did in the first fight. And he's landed a bit higher percentage.
They're both busier tonight.
I think Mitchell may be ahead at this point in the fight.
I'd say so.
Starting the 9th round. Tony Lopez, Brian Mitchell. It's Tony's IBF Junior Lightweight title at stake here in his hometown of Sacramento. We're at the Arco Arena.
And you got lots of tape hanging off that right glove now, and a few low blows.
Well, that's it. And yes, referee Pat Russell calls timeout.
But what's odd here is that Brian Mitchell called attention to that tape being loose and not the referee itself. Normally a fighter really doesn't care, but that may have been a ploy to get a little bit more of a breather, which it does give you. But he goes back and picks up that good pace right now, so he just may have been very conscientious about his gloves.
That blood forming again in the right eye of Mitchell as he takes a shot from Lopez.
Well, right now Mitchell is just out hustling Tony Lopez. He's really landing, it seems to me, 3-4 punches to 1.
Not strong ones though.
No.
Jabs.
But what's really working for him is the jab tonight. He's getting out 3-4 jabs.
There you go again.
Yeah, couple punches, then Tony comes back and doesn't really land much.
You just go on punches landed. It's Brian Mitchell. He does it again.
Nice little left uppercut by Brian Mitchell there. And what that does, that jab, you keep that jab in Tony Lopez's face, it keeps him busy. It makes him keeps him on the defense and takes your mind off of offense.
I'm just thinking back to the fight that Lopez lost to John Molina here, and the crowd got very rowdy at the end, throwing debris. I hope if it is a close decision that it's an obvious one to the fans.
Right. Well, if it is, I'm taking cover real quick.
Crowd trying to urge Lopez on. Mitchell controlling things with a minute to go in the 9th round.
What were they throwing last time, beer?
They were throwing cups filled with ice and just whatever they had in their hands.
If it was beer, I might stay up.
Another good right cross from Mitchell. A couple more jabs.
Well, he's just peppering Tony Lopez tonight with that jab. And he said he was going to do it, and he has, and he's used it all night long, and it's been the saving grace for him tonight. To me, that's what's winning the fight for him.
You never can tell what judges are thinking and seeing, but from our vantage point over here, looks like Brian Mitchell right now is ahead and doing well. Doing it in the champion's hometown. I'm hearing a few boos sprinkled from the crowd here at Arco Arena. Mitchell has Lopez against the ropes, and Tony fights out of there in the final seconds of the 9th round.
Well, the surprise of the night is Brian Mitchell backing up Tony Lopez.
Hear that crowd, a little bit restive.
Yeah, the iron right away.
And now through 9 rounds. John Saraceno, it's yours.
Glenn, I've got Brian Mitchell widening his gap against Tony Lopez, and if Tony has a tiger in his tank, he better take him out now because time's a-wasting.
I was thinking the same thing, that it is getting late.
His corner really should get on him and tell him he's got to put it into high gear right now.
Well, I think my scorecard you had, Bram.
10th round, all right, kid?
What round is this?
Okay.
10th round, right?
No problem. Listen, you look at that over right hand. It looks perfect.
Oh, there it is.
He's swelling up on that left eye now.
It bears out what we've been saying.
Well, those are startling numbers.
Well, it's obvious he's really been holding Lopez at bay with that jab all night.
Well, last time we were in Sacramento, we saw the hometown hero Loreto Garza lose his title. Will lightning strike twice here on Friday the 13th. Right hand from Mitchell lands. Although on the East Coast right now, it's Saturday the 14th.
Tony Lopez might be 50-50 on Friday the 13th after this 12-round ends. But here he's coming out and he's started to initiate something, and that's what he's got to do. If he can take these next 3 rounds, he might get back in this fight.
Sure.
Who knows? Make a draw of it or maybe eke out the decision.
John Saraceno from USA Today has it as a 3-point margin, so he does have 3 rounds to work here.
He needs every bit of them.
Again, throwing the jabs, Lopez is, and this time his punch lacks the starch.
The key is Brian Mitchell's been able to avoid all the big shots of Tony Lopez tonight. He's really never been caught clean with a hard, good, crisp punch since maybe the 3rd or 4th round that Tony had his 2 best rounds in.
Right hand for Mitchell. It must be that 3:30 swimming regimen. 3:30 a.m. Right hand from Mitchell again lands on Lopez.
I'm getting all my fighters' bathing suits from now on.
Mitchell lands again. Well, I'm not sure Lopez has enough time to come back in this thing.
Not if Brian Mitchell keeps landing punches like he did right there, that good straight right hand.
Lopez is getting to the point where he needs a knockout.
Or at least to win rounds maybe by, a real impressive margin.
And Lopez has never had a knockout past the 10th round in his career, only one ever past the 8th round. So he's not a late knockout artist. Inside of a minute on the 10th round now.
There's that jab. Just setting Lopez up and keeping him at bay.
Mitchell's fought a terrific fight to this point.
Beautiful fight. Give credit to Murphy Griffith in his corner, Boom Boom Mancini's ex-trainer, who said they had the game plan to beat Lopez, and this is it.
Lopez did connect with it right there from afar. And he's backed into the corner again. Lopez's mouth wide open at times, gasping for air. Lopez trying to turn it on.
Oh, Mitchell, he just rolls and ducks and lets those wide punches roll off his back, bounce off his shoulders.
Let me get it.
That's another round in your pocket, okay?
All right, now, Brian, listen.
Listen to him.
Listen, that's the 10th round, right? We got 2 more rounds. We got 2 more rounds. You cannot lose this fight if you box his ass off, just like you do.
Understand? He's strong now. Okay?
You feel good?
Give me that water. Give me that water.
Bang. Wow. 1 point. This time, when you go to him, go to his. Okay?
I know.
You're doing a good job hanging there.
Here we go, a little replay here. Look at that jab. I mean, 2 effective jabs. One when Lopez's head was down, then when he came up, popped him again with it. That jab has got radar on it. It's following Lopez's head wherever it goes.
Same jab, the same thing. Working for you right. Mouthpiece.
Stan Ward is really, to me, what he's got to do is tell Tony Lopez he's behind in this fight. You need a knockout. You need to get on him.
And you heard the Mitchell corner tell him, hey, stay safe for 2 rounds. You've won it.
Well, I don't even know about that. I think he should just keep doing what he's doing. I think right now
Well, he said stay smart.
Stay smart, exactly. But he's going back to boxing right now, and that's where he's going to give Tony. Well,
ooh, another right hand from Mitchell.
All right, he's coming forward, and that's what I'd rather see him doing than boxing, going backwards.
In the 11th round, another right hand from Mitchell. Time running out on the champion, Tony Lopez.
Both of them throwing good right hands, and both of them are missing.
Trying its best, but you have to admit they've been pretty low-key.
Well, they've really had nothing to cheer about since the 5th round on. Brian Mitchell really, to me, has dominated this fight with his jab. He's avoided all the big shots of Tony Lopez, and to me, he's a clear-cut. You know, he's ahead clear-cut in this fight right now.
Oh, another good right hook from Brian Mitchell.
Straight right on the chin. Lopez standing up, and Mitchell just dropping it right on his chin.
The jab connects from Mitchell.
Lopez probably doing a lot of head hunting in this fight too. He should have really stayed into the body.
He did connect with an overhand right.
He did.
He needs a big one. He got another right hand there. Tony connecting twice with the right here in the 11th, and another right hand from Lopez. Tony making a late rally.
He's got 40 seconds to even this round up. Maybe get the judges to vote for him in this round. But the first 2 minutes belong to Brian Mitchell.
A strong finish here in the 11th by Tony Lopez. And he really needed it. It was the right hand, which he wasn't using much earlier, that got him going here.
Well, what it was a double right hand. He came under with it and then over the top. Tony Lopez has had his moment in that round for about 30 seconds, but the rest of that round really was dominated by Brian Mitchell.
May have been enough to give him the round. Those are scoring's all about.
3 solid right hands. Do you vote for the 3 power shots or the peppering shots that Mitchell was laying on?
Because he's way behind.
Okay, so be clever and smart, okay? Pop that jab, and slip, okay?
Ryan, last round, I want to touch gloves before we kick it off, all right? I'll call you out. Thank you. Both down, man.
Here we go. Here's Tony Lopez, probably landing his better shots in this round. Here it is. Boom. Right hand, and that was flush on the chin, and it moved Mitchell off his feet there for a second.
They're burning out the wires on the copy box
Put them
computer.
together fast. Don't try to take them out. Put them together fast.
This is the 12th.
Over 1,700 punches.
Thank you. Very good.
Both waving to the crowd as we start the 12th. They fought to a draw last March. Perhaps Mitchell ahead of Lopez in a fight here in Sacramento tonight.
Tony Lopez said he was only in 50% shape for the last fight and improved that much more. Brian Mitchell, really, if that's the case, he improved double himself because he looks tremendous tonight.
Really does. They're both still going strong here in the final round. No let up. Both connecting there. Mitchell again with that jab. Little blood trickling from the nose of Tony Lopez now. Mouth wide open at times, repeatedly. Tony Lopez. And he tries to work his jab. Crowd trying to summon up one more surge in their favorite, Tony Lopez. Halfway through the 12th.
Mitchell getting the better of that exchange, coming out with a decent left hook afterwards.
Good right hand from Lopez and a counter right. Effective for Mitchell.
That exchange definitely was back and forth there. Each of them landing their own good punches.
That cut over Mitchell's eye, a non-factor in this fight. Tony, a little cut and a little blood trickling from his nose. Cut on the cheek. The headbutt he took from Gutierrez 2 months ago, not a factor tonight. Less than a minute to go, and Mitchell continues to score. And Lopez comes back.
Scored a couple good jabs, left uppercut, and he's got Tony Lopez backing up again. Lopez's only shot is to get him coming forward and land a bomb and knock him out at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
Lopez needs a big punch here with 40 seconds to go.
That eye definitely opened up for Brian Mitchell right now.
Now it's bleeding.
And there is blood in the eye, and he is wiping at it and must be bothering him.
Inside of 30 seconds.
Now's the time to start throwing that left hook off that right hand for Tony Lopez.
Tony trying to pour it on. Trying to salvage this fight with less than 20 seconds remaining.
What a pace for 12 rounds. Neither of them have stopped throwing punches throughout this whole fight.
That was a good fight. I applaud that one.
That was a very good fight, but Brian Mitchell's corner feel that he's the new champ of the world, and they are celebrating. In the other corner here,
both corners have lifted their fighters up off the canvas as if both think they have won. They're both up right now. And I can't wait to see the scoring of this one.
You can see John's right there, Len.
Well, John Saraceno has Mitchell ahead, but we'll see what happens with the three judges who count. Working on that cut. They did a good job throughout the fight. We saw Jorge Vaca surprise Mark Breland. Meldrick Taylor get a surprisingly good fight before defeating Ernie Chavez. And now we'll see what happens here. Let's go to Michael Buffer with the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, we go to the scorecards. Here's the official scoring. Fritz Werner scores the bout 116 to 112. Harry Davis scores at 117 to 111. Mike Liana scores at 116 to 112 for the winner. And new champion, Brian Mitchell.
That's it. Brian Mitchell has come into the hometown of Tony Lopez and wrested his IBF Junior lightweight crown away from him. John Saraceno, your thoughts?
Len, I don't quite understand why the Lopez corner is so upset when they let a fighter come into their backyard and essentially Tony let Brian Mitchell take the fight away from him, particularly throughout the second half of the fight, which is what he did in the first fight.
Yep. Someone threw a towel there in disgust as the decision was announced.
Brian Mitchell outworked Tony Lopez, and his jab was the key to the fight. And he's also a little bit too slick defensively. And for some strange reason, Tony Lopez stopped throwing the right hand. And I don't know if he heard it right in the third round or not, but he stopped using it.
Yeah, we wondered about that. Well, let's go to Joe Goosen, who's with the new champion. Joe?
Brian, the new champ of the world, IBF champion of the world. Did you know you had that fight in the bag going into the last round?
Definitely, I won most of the rounds. You know, last time I was quoted as saying I won 9 out of 12. If I didn't win 9 out of 12 this time, then I don't know.
Well, if you
did well in this fight,
if you win by scores of 116, 112 in his hometown, you got to feel everyone felt you won the fight. Of course, we had it scored the same ringside. You boxed beautifully tonight. What was the key factor for you in this fight
I
tonight?
think my jab was the key factor, and my condition was excellent. I was motivated this time. Last time I showed him too much respect in the earlier rounds, and I know I won the fight last time. I just came to fetch my belt, but this time I made sure.
Great. Listen, who are you looking for next, Brian?
Well, we don't know yet. We still got to sit down and negotiate. We're not sure at this stage what's happening.
It's a wonderful fight. Congratulations to you, and hope to see you again. Tony Lopez. Tony, come on over here real quick. Let me ask you a question. Did you think you lost by that wide of a margin tonight?
No way. I didn't think I lost. I thought I was trying going in the 10th. They told me I had to win the last 2 rounds. I thought they said I was doing a good job. Just keep it up with the jab. The jab was doing everything.
Tony, in the 3rd and 4th round seemed to be your best rounds. You were the most effective. You were going forward and putting pressure on them. Why did you abandon that?
The fight goes back and forth, you know. Different things happen. You got to do different things at the last minute. So I don't know, but I thought I won the fight. I mean, come on. I mean, at least a close fight, but I thought I won, pull it out in the last 2 rounds. You know. Oh well.
All right. Hey, what would you like to do next? Would you like a rematch with him? He's got one. I mean, he's got one. There was a draw here. You ready for one more with Brian Mitchell?
Oh yeah, it's up to the promoters and managers to make it up, and I'm ready.
All right, Tony. I wish I could say congratulations tonight, but maybe again next time. All right, Cambrell. Thanks to you. Back to you right now, and there you go. Thank you.
Okay, another exciting evening of boxing here on TVKO in Sacramento. Meldrick Taylor, the only